Welcome, everybody, to this call. I'm super excited and blessed today that we're on this line today, and we have a very special guest that's going to be sharing some information with us. So I'm super excited. I hope you guys got your pen and paper ready to take some copious notes, because this young lady is a powerhouse, one of the new senior vice presidents in our company, and we're going to really dive into her story to learn a little bit about how she was able to do what it is that she's done to put her on the forefront of this company. Now, I want everybody to understand that every senior vice president, platinum or double platinum, is an ordinary person who just got started, just like every single one of us, but made some extraordinary commitments and made some tough decisions and stayed committed to those long enough to see it fulfilled. So we're going to hear from somebody who I have so much excitement and so much admiration for. New Senior Vice President here in Teen Power, Ms. Kappy Bois. Senior Vice President Kappy, you on the line with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much for joining us on the
I'm
call.
so excited. What an honor. What an honor. Thank you so much for having me on this call. First, I want to give it back to your leadership. I remember it's been a long time. I remember going to New York and seeing you guys and having the Super Saturdays, and we used to travel from a long distance actually to go to New York. But Leroy, I want to give it back to you for your leadership, and thanks for your invite. Well, guys, I'm going to get to the point about my story, how I got started in 5 links. When I was little, I never said, when somebody asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up, I never said I wanted to be a network marketer. All right? So it just happened to happen, and it has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. So long story short, I got introduced to 5 links because a friend kind of tricked me and told me he's having a birthday party for his sister and for me to go to the birthday party. And I remember saying, I went there and I said, what type of birthday party only have chips and soda? Then I realized it was a business meeting, right? I remember I looked at it. At first, all I saw in the opportunity was $2,000 in a Bentley. Mind you, a Bentley is my is my dream car. So I said, okay, I can try to do that. But prior to me seeing the opportunity, on Sunday I went to church, and I remember the pastor said, if anybody here, somebody tell you about a business opportunity this week, join the business and see where God's going to take you. He said that to the entire congregation. So on Tuesday when I went and looked at the business, I remember what the pastor had said, and that's how I got started too. Okay, so I didn't fully understand network marketing. It's my first time doing MLM, and I said, let's get started. I did it. At that time, I was in school. I was doing a doctorate program and a master's program at the same time, and I was in a different state. I actually am from Rhode Island, but I went to school in Connecticut. So I didn't know anybody there. So any of you saying, I don't know anyone, or if somebody tells you, I don't know anybody here, I can't do this business, they're not serious, because I didn't know anybody really in Connecticut. I was introduced to the business because I was trying to make friends at that time. So I remember I got started, and I hit a wall because I realized most of the people I knew were in school with me, and they were not business-minded. I remember I got qualified, and that's it. First month, nobody joined my business. Second month, nobody joined my business. Third month, nobody joined my business. People in my family were just making fun of me, laughing at me. I remember when I called my brother to tell him about the business, and he said, oh, yeah, Dad told me. Dad said you got this business called Tupac. And I told her the business is not named Tupac. It's somebody in there whose name is Tupac. But they used to make fun of me. But long story short, my father is in the business now, and my brother. So I remember, guys, it took me 8 months to get my first business partner. So throughout this whole time, I was paying the video phone, I was paying the platinum services, and I was a student. So, college students, we don't have that much money. So I kept going. By the time I graduated, after I graduated, that's when I took the business seriously, and I ran with it. I remember my first business partner, he quit. The second one quit. The third one quit. So I'm telling you, it's been almost a year and I have, and I'm not making any money in this business. I remember calling Leslie and saying, Leslie, how come my residual is $1.65? This business doesn't work. I remember all that. But I kept going, and guys, long story short, it took me 5 years to hit senior vice president position. I was in Connecticut with Leslie, pioneering the market with them. I remember Leslie was an executive director. Tupac was a national director when I joined the business, just about to hit senior vice president. And I decided to leave Connecticut after 2 years to come to Rhode Island. And when I came to Rhode Island, I'm noticing whenever you're opening a new state, it takes about 3 years. So it took me a good 3 years to open the Rhode Island market. And I can't wait to have a whole lot more senior vice president from this state. So all I'm going to say is stay the course. It took me 5 years, but here's what I've learned from 5 links. What I've learned from 5 links is how to really network your way to the top. Okay? Corporate America teach you how to, I guess try to step on each other's head or throat to get to the top. But at MLM, it's all about how do you network your way to the top in a manner where you can grab everybody else with you. Full-time right now, I'm a chiropractic physician and a nutritionist. I'm a part-time 5-linker. I broke senior vice president guys working 90 hours a week, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I remember going to work 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 p.m., 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I'm at a different location working, treating patients, and 7:30 I'll pull the desktop that I have at the office, put it in the waiting room, and we start the PBR or BOM. Okay, so it was up and down. I lost a lot of national directors. People come and hit national director, then quit. So it wasn't easy. You have to understand you are going to build this business a couple of times. First you built it just for the pen, and the second time is for the wealth, where you actually start making money. People are going to come and go. Understand, not everybody goes to college and graduate. So not everybody's going to come into your 5-link business and take the course. Okay, but it's their choice. So I'm excited. So I remember that day I worked as senior vice president. I remember I said everything is possible. What really changed the game for me was I went to one national convention. So for those of you who's on the call here, get all your team to the convention this May, because I went to Vegas. I remember Leslie was saying, "Go there, Kappy, you gotta go." I remember I went. And then I realized there were people that struggled and still got to the top. I got to a point I thought you had to get to SVP a certain amount, like a certain period of time or length of time in order for you to hit the position and be successful. But I realized people struggle and still get to the top, because a lot of time in the conference calls you hear people that made SVPs in a very fast rate or fast manner. So I thought that's what I had to do. Because I didn't do that, I thought there was no room for me in this MLM industry. But at the national convention, I learned people struggled and they still made it. I said, okay, no problem. It's my pace. I'm not saying it takes 5 years. It took me 5 years because I only was able to put about maybe 6 hours a week in this business because of my work schedule. You have to understand, I work out of school with hundreds and thousands of student loans. So I had to work a lot of hours to stop paying those student loans. And with my career, the Department of Health doesn't really allow you to have any gap between the time you have your license and the time you start practicing. So I always have to practice if I want to keep my license active, okay? But each person's career is different. So one national I knew, I said, okay, I just have to hit SVP. I remember my upline actually quit and went to Visalis 2 years ago. And, of course, now he's no longer doing Visalis. So a lot of people are going to quit. Even if your upline quit the game, connect with the person ahead of you, okay, or above him, so as you keep the course. All I'm going to try to tell you guys a few pointers that have helped me along the way. Never doubt a course that you are sure about. Do not doubt it because somebody else are making a lot of noise. I call him the king of the can. The person that makes the most noise usually has no concrete results. Okay, not because a lot of people are posting stuff in their social media doesn't mean they're really successful. All right, so stick the course. Be sure of your path. The other thing is, do not let other people's limitation to become yours. Okay, if the person gonna come and tell you, how could you work 2 jobs and be a mother and or be a husband and still do this business, I wouldn't be able to do it. That's their limitation. So do not adapt that limitation and put it above you, okay? And you have to understand that whatever's in your environment is a whole lot weaker than your physical being. So who you are is stronger than any circumstances you will face. You just have to have faith, okay? Like what I'm saying, if somebody like me can do this business, anybody can. Okay, always understand what's for you is for you. Nobody can take that from you. Okay, and sometimes for me to understand this business, I had to definitely take the time to be under somebody to be above standing. So what I tell people, like I was saying in my SVP speech, in order to be outstanding, you have to be willing to stand out. And in order to understand, you have to be willing to stand under. Okay, so you don't. For me, I'm never too big to start small. People say you're a doctor, you don't need to do MLM, but I'm telling you, as of today, in the next 3 weeks, my hours is about to cut from 90 to 40 because of the money I'm making in 5 months. You see, I had to pay the price of success up front. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to keep you too long. I don't know how long is your call. I don't know if there's anything you'd like me to add and if there's any questions.
Awesome. Hey, Kappy, listen, I am super excited. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this, and I remember hearing your SVP speech, and me and Kevin Johnson, I'm going to speak for him, we were sitting right in the front, and we were your biggest fans. I'm telling you, we were pumping our fists, and you could hear us because your energy was so contagious. It was an amazing, amazing experience, and we all could feel it. We could feel it. We knew that your journey was real, and 5 years is no joke. Most people will fold, Most people will fold under that type of pressure. But you're a diamond, and a diamond, just gets better under pressure. And I'm just proud to be your partner, to be called your partner. Now, there's some people on the line, I'm sure, that's going to have some questions for you, and I want to flip into Q&A mode right away because I want them to ask you those hard questions. And you're that type of person that somebody can ask that challenged question. We've got people who are seasoned in the company that's been around for quite a while, been to national conventions and such, that know the power of it, that just haven't been able to actuate it and wait in their season. And there are new people who just get started, haven't really seen much, and but they're just moving based on faith and energy. So just understand that as we open up the Q&A. And now, we are wide open for Q&A. If there's anybody on the call that wants to get a question answered, want to share something with Kappy, please, this is a great time because I'm going to tell you that whatever question is in your heart is in the heart of somebody else. It's just somebody is bold enough to stand up and just ask that question. The squeaky wheel is the one that gets the oil. So definitely this is the time for you to just hit *6. If you hit *6 on your phone, it'll allow you to jump into the queue. Wow, I see people jumping in the queue already. Add yourself to the queue, and we're going to click over real quick. Yep. Jasmine?
Hello. I'm going to just jump in because I can't hit *6, so I had a quick question.
Go ahead.
First one. All right. Well, Kappy, I want to give it back to you, and thank you so much for jumping on this call. Your story is so, so, so inspiring. I wanted to know if you could just speak again briefly. You mentioned, and one of your points was to not let anyone else's limitations become yours. And that's something. I'm a single mom. I have a 6-year-old, and that's something I'm constantly facing. People saying, "Oh, you can't do this. You can't do all these things. Your daughter has a medical condition. You can't juggle all of these things." What are some of the responses that, how do you suggest I respond to kind of those situations, especially when a lot of times it's family, and so I don't want to be disrespectful, but, it's kind of like, this is what I'm going to do, So
I understand. How do you say it in a way where you don't offend them, and you still keep a positive relationship? Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks so much for asking this question, because I'm sure a lot of us face the same problem. Here's one of the things I would suggest is, first you have to look at them in a way where they stand. The lenses they're using to look at you and to assess your situation is a different lens than using to assess them. So it's not their fault. You got to kind of pity them a little bit. Kind of see it's not their fault that they're looking at it that way. One of the best analogy I can use, I'm a Christian. I remember when Jesus was walking on water, right? And those who were sitting on the boat were telling Peter, you can't walk on water. Those who said that while they were sitting on the boat, they're right. You can't really walk on water. He has been their experience. But because Peter was looking at Christ, was living a different dimension, he experienced that dimensional results. So what I tell people, if you want to walk on water, do not consult those sitting on the boats. So if you want to fly, do not consult those who's walking. However, those who's walking and sitting on that boat, they're the first to shout out, don't do it. You see what I mean? So what you can tell them and say, I understand your concern. You are absolutely right. My daughter is sick. I should be caring for her. Just tell them, what if one day I'm no longer there to carry her or to care for her? I want to create the finances right now that if one day I'm not here, at least they can hire a doctor or a nurse to care for her for the next 20 or 30 years.
Perfect.
You see what I mean?
Perfect.
Or anybody else. Like for me, when people say, how could you do this? That's too much on your body and all that stuff. I tell them, I have huge responsibility. My goal is to build Haiti's largest hospital that is been built by a Haitian person. Now, what am I going to do? Tell the next generation that because a few people told me no, they wouldn't do the business, I quit? What if somebody in the next 20 years will need free health care in Haiti, and because a few people told me no, I let that stop me, and now 20 years later somebody died because right now I failed to make the right decision? It's a huge responsibility. Right now they're just seeing the now, so it's not their fault, unfortunately. Okay, the standard they're applying on you is too low. You know, you're a heavyweight, so you can take heavyweights. They need to understand that. I hope this was helpful.
Right. No, yes, it was. Thank you so much.
Awesome. That was an awesome question with an awesome answer. And man, this is good stuff. We've got tons of people in the queue, so we're going to try to knock this down and get through, because I'm sure there's going to be some more wonderful questions. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for doing that. We're going to our first caller, and let's run through this queue. First caller, you are on the line.
Oh, hello. This is Howard out of Long Island. How are you?
I'm doing
Howard,
great.
I'm doing great.
That's great, and congratulations on your success. However, there was something that you said regarding the negativity on the outside is greater than you. That's on the inside. I was distracted a little bit. Can you reiterate that, please?
Okay. Oh, yeah, what I mean is your circumstances out there is a whole lot smaller, actually. Maybe I said it wrong, a whole lot smaller than you, because the person you are inside is greater. It's the same thing they're saying, greater who's in you than anything out there, okay? Because it's better to make your environment a byproduct of your thought than to become a byproduct of society.
Beautiful.
What I mean by that, this is how this whole game of life is working, okay? They put you here. You have all these big problems coming at you. But if you notice that all of them are external, it's all going to be about how you respond to the issue that's going to tell who you are. All right? So here's are the external problem. It's going to be families and friends discouraging you. Suddenly your car breaks down on your way to a BOM. Suddenly you're trying to break national director like I was, and I lost my 5 links card. Okay? Suddenly all your friends stop picking up your call. Suddenly you get sick. These are external circumstances. But you got to look within and see why you're here. Why are you on this planet? You're here to serve. Okay? So whenever somebody's preventing you from serving others, they are standing against you and your destiny. All right? So to understand, whenever the hardship comes, you just got to say to yourself, I'm strong. I'm powerful. The person who's in me, the force of God who's in me is stronger than anything out there. You see, this is why you have to say to yourself, because hardship is going to come. Because to me, success is to succeed under unfavorable circumstances. Although the circumstances are unfavorable, but you will still succeed. For example, let's say Stevie Wonder. Here's the beauty of this about Stevie Wonder. Although he was born blind, he still became one of the best musicians of all time. So people are going to say, although Howard, right, had a lot of financial problems, you still became senior vice president. You see what I mean? Because you could have said no to 5 links, but you did not. That tells that what's in you is already surpassed 97 of the population. That's why you're going to get the result 97 people are not going to get, because today, Wednesday, April 16, you were on the conference call bettering who you are compared to the other people who just stuck on a job right now.
Wow.
I hope this was helpful.
You're wonderful. I love you. Thank you so much.
Same here.
And I'm getting all these text messages. I'm telling you, Kappy, you are a hit. We've got this queue filled up, and people are super excited.
Oh, wow.
So
I'm excited. I'm honored.
Let's just jump right into the next caller. Next caller, you're on the line.
All right, awesome. This is Ricardo Super. How you guys doing?
Awesome.
All right. Well, first off, Kappy, you already know you've been a tremendous help to me, just in terms of, our Facebook chats back and forth, keeping me kind of up to date on some of the stuff going on in Rhode Island. And you have such a powerful message. So I'm just going to get right into the question that I have. I'd like to hear how you address this, because, of course, this is a very simple business. It's not always easy. And you do have a certain degree of people who get in, they realize that it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, becoming a millionaire in a month. So what do you say to people who feel like they've done all that they can? Maybe they've been in for a month, maybe only a year, a couple of years, and they're trying to, look for reasons why this thing doesn't work. What do you say to people who kind of come to you a little bit discouraged? What keeps them, I guess, searching inside for the strength to keep going?
Okay. Oh, great question, Ricardo. But thank you, Ricardo. I have to say, you've been helping me. I love your YouTube videos, man. I'll be sending this to everybody. So you've helped me as well, and my team.
Awesome.
So it's a great question. And that's part of human behavior. Even if you talk to anybody who's been in the army, they went to war, they tell you there was time they were working, they get tired. You see what I mean? That's normal behavior. What I will say is I've been there, done that. Okay, where I feel like I've done everything I could, God, but this is not working. What is going on? But what I've noticed, there's a direct correlation in this business from the results you get and who you become. A lot of time, if your business is not growing to a certain level, it's because there's a growth in you that haven't happened. Because same thing happened to me. I was stuck in executive director forever. In fact, each pen level took me like a year and a half. But it took me a year and a half to grow in each pen level as a network marketer. They have to understand it's a new industry. Okay, that's a logical part of it. Okay, it's just 2 ways I attack those: logical and emotional. First, you do the logic. You tell the person, hey, listen, right now you're an executive director, you're an executive trainer. It's okay, all right? You have to grow by your own pace. This is what you have to learn. You've done everything you needed to do. But a lot of times they say that is because they're assessing it themselves. But you as the upline, when you're assessing them, you can tell where the problem is. And sometimes I see what the problem is on my team. I don't voice it yet until I feel like they're ready so that they don't get offended. Especially if you're young and some of your downline may be older than you, you have to know how to approach them. So what I do, I tell them, hey, listen, you must grow. Because here's an analogy. A lot of people who hate stardom, such as in the entertainment industry, let's say they became a big superstar overnight. What happened to a lot of them? Either they lose their money, or they lose their mind, or they lose their peace. That's because there's an internal growth as an individual or maturity they didn't achieve before they hit the stardom. Then it turns chaotic. So same thing in this business. If I didn't go through 5 years, I will be a very shaky senior vice president for me. Some people take like 30 days to get to SVP, and they are strong mentally. They're strong as an SVP because they spend so many hours and hours and hours making themselves a professional direct sale person. Whereas me, I was doing it little by little. So tell them they're not doing anything wrong. It's just it must take its course. The maturity, each person mature at a different rate. You see what I mean? So these people, that's the logical part. Now, the emotional part, they must do affirmation. They must listen to Darren Hardy stuff on YouTube if they can. You see what I mean? They must find a leader that can speak to their soul, because your emotion, that's your soul, your emotions sit in your soul. Okay? And the logical information sit into your brain. Yes? Dr. Phillips. Dr. Phillips, she's supposed to meet with me. Give me a sec. I'll be there. Okay. Thanks. Sorry, guys. Dr. Duty. So that's the logical. That's the emotional part. Some people, their pastor motivate them, and sometimes some SVPs in our team or in this company is very good at motivational speaking. So you can connect them to that. So that's what I would say. I know that was a long answer, but I apologize.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, man. I'm definitely going to get on the recording of this and probably put this on YouTube. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Kappy, and much continued success to you.
You too, Ricardo. I know you're going to be the next SVP, no doubt.
Yes. Hey, listen, Kappy, I don't know if you've got to run right now, or if you've got time for another call. If you've got to run,
I have let me see. Give me 1 second, okay? Naomi, is she here? Is she here? She called? Okay, tell her I'll call her back if she call again. Oh, yeah, she called for Igor, yeah. Because, I'm cutting hours.
This is live. This is live for all of our callers on the line right now. I want you to understand that this is definitely one of those calls to remember that we have.
Sorry, guys, I'm here.
Yes. For those that are just chiming on the line, we have Dr. and Senior Vice President Kappy Bois, who is sharing some phenomenal information, and I'm telling you, she's digging super deep. Somebody not to overlook in his business. She's been through so much, and she has so much wisdom. And the calls are like, when I tell you, I'm getting text messages. The log is filled up. That means the reaction of people right now is really intense to this. So we're going to try to knock through just a couple more questions while we still have her on the line. So next caller on the line, you're muted. You're here with Kappy.
Hi, good afternoon, all. This is Dr. Claytisha Walden.
Welcome.
Thank you. So one of the struggles that I would like to just get some advice and some wisdom on is really approaching high-level professionals. Oftentimes in network marketing, there's a stigma attached in terms of social status of doing this type of business, and I'm really intrigued in really understanding and really thinking about the response around since our newly promoted Senior Vice President is a high-level professional, busy, she's at work and engaging in various activities. How did she overcome that?
Okay, awesome. You said your name is Dr. Tracy, right?
Claytisha Walden.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much. Great question. I did face that even within my profession. I did face where people tell me, "Oh, I'm a doctor. I don't want to mix oranges with apple." And I tell them oranges and apple make great juice, you know. But anyway, it was a joke. I usually tell them. But I do face that. And it's okay. You have to understand, it's okay for them to think that way. Because imagine if we take all the doctors at the hospital, when we're sick, who's going to take care of us? If we take all the bus drivers, all the taxi drivers, and put all of them in 5 lanes, they're going to quit their jobs, and who's going to drive the taxi, right? It's okay that they think that way. It's not their fault, once again, okay? At first, here's the thing. When I first started in this business, I didn't have much money. I was a student, okay? So, and I still was able to get to national director, all right? So sometimes it's not because your SVP or your doctor or professional, it doesn't make it easier to recruit. We still go to the same nodes. We still go to the same numbers. I'm not sure if I'm fully covering your question, but I hope I am. But what I would say is, professionals, here's what you need to know about us. A lot of us are broke at a higher level. Like yesterday I went to do my taxes. I said, man, I had to pay the government money. A lot of us, we work a lot of hours, but we have no life. We have no quality of life. We have quantity in the bank, but no quality of life. So this is where you can target them, and they will all fumble. They will all bend over backwards and say, oh, okay, you're right. You just have to find a way to get their attention and get their time. You can say, hey, doc, or attorney, listen, I know you work a lot of hours. You're really great at what you do. However, if I were to show you something that will give you more time and more money, would you take a time to look at it? Chances are they're going to say yes, and then just give them a Success magazine. Those type of people, you don't question, you don't try to explain nothing. You just give them a Success magazine. You say, you know what, take a look at this. All right, because a lot of us, we have money, we don't have time. So this is where you can get them. Don't let them fool you. They drive the big cars. Their kids go to private school. They have the big house. So they're into a lot of their expense. Like my monthly expense is so high. Right? Between the business and my personal life, it's up there. That's why I have to make a lot of money. Okay? So I hope I did answer your question somewhat.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. That was an awesome question between two, definitely very learned and scholarly people. Dr. Claire is one of, the very prestigious people on our team in terms of academe, and we're really proud of her and definitely excited to link that connectivity with somebody like Kappy as well, who's done so much in her industry. So it's wonderful for us, those of us that may be lay people, to listen in as flies on the wall to hear that type of conversation. And this is what we should be doing. We should be recruiting top-level people, because I say it all the time, like Papa John says, better ingredients make better pizza. So if you can start recruiting some more, doctors and lawyers and people who are, very conscious about what they do, produce better results in your business. Now let's rock and roll. We're going to go to this last caller on the line because we don't want to keep these calls too much longer, but this has definitely been one of the most exciting and information-packed calls we've had. So let's go to our next caller.
Hi, this is Lori from West Virginia, and I am not really a member of 5 Links yet. I'm just trying to get interested in it and, learn more about the business so I can get into it. And my question is really, as a beginner, what should I focus on? What advice do you have to give me, and just what advice do I have that you can give me that can make me a SVP or something in the near future?
Perfect. That's a great question because we all in this call been there. Great question. It's very simple. Right now, once you're first getting, make a list. Your list is your working capital. Consider your list like you're opening your first flower shop, and the first 50 names are going to be people you're going to come and tell them to buy flowers from you. So your list, okay? That list, you're going to give it to the person that gets you in the business. That person is supposed to go down this list for you. Then you want to have your first grand opening where you invite people to your house. You don't tell them it's a business. Just tell them, I'm having something over my house. Would you do me the honor of coming? Pass by. It's going to be exciting. Right now, it's going to be just about excitement, because excitement is going to draw them in. They're going to ask you to explain. You don't need to explain. So your focus right now is to remain excited. The same burst of excitement that created this sense of urgency for you to join the business, that's the exact excitement that's going to create the same sense of urgency in your network or people you're going to invite. Okay? So just be excited. Just be jack out of your mind, and people is going to say, what is going on? Say, funny you should ask, be at my house to come look at this business. Or you could send them. So the number key right now is to concentrate on making your first $1,000 bonus, which is 2 people and 20 customer points.
Right.
Then from there on, if you can do that, it's just duplicating that same process. In the meantime, you're going to learn the business. Don't worry about learning anything right now. All you need is a list, your grand opening. I'll be there. Thanks. Sorry, guys. Your grand opening, and then that just be excited. And then the rest will flow, and you will be senior vice president. And I can't wait for you to say thank you to me from the stage. You're going to thank me the day you walk that stage, okay? Don't thank any of us here today. Just when you walk that senior vice president with 5,000 stock options in your hands in a $150 million company, that's when you say thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Listen, I had to just, I had to pull out my pen and paper and just take a couple of those things down, because truthfully, I know the system. I've been using the system, but I think that you say it so eloquently, Kappy, and we're excited for you. And we know that you have so much to do, and you got to get back to running your schedule. On behalf of the entire team and everyone that's listening to the playback of the call, we are grateful and thankful that you took time out of your very busy schedule to share with us, to impart with us. So, Kappy, we look forward to your tremendous amount of success, and we here would love to serve in any way that we possibly can, and thank you so much for jumping on the call today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good afternoon today, guys.
Awesome. Now, you just heard from Dr. Kappy Bois. Guys, I hope that you guys are just as excited and ready to apply this information, because truthfully, information that is not applied is wasted. Books on the shelf get dusty. But if you can apply that information and put it into your life, you will produce results, and that's what this is about. This is about producing some amazing results, and that's what we all want to do. So let's wrap up this call. Before we do, I just want to remind everybody of some pertinent things that we need to do. If you are not registered for the National Convention, get it done. If you don't have a roommate or a partner, connect with your sponsor. Let's get that done. Connect with somebody who's in your line organization. There's no reason why you should not be at the National Convention. Another thing I want to remind you guys, guests and partners, that Friday we are going to have an exposure, probably the best presentation you could possibly ever get somebody to look at the business right there in Atlantic City. Get them down to the convention. If someone has not seen Tony Robbins before, it generally costs $1,000 or more to come and see that guy. Hey, for $150, I can get you a ticket. You can see Tony Robbins, and they'll be right in the energy. There's no better exposure than to have them to come to that training and see the excitement of the company and the energy and be trained by Tony Robbins as he unleashes and lets everybody know about our new product, because he's going to be doing that unveiling. Now, I want to remind you guys that Thursday, the 24th, we're going to have William Forsett. He's going to be going over a wonderful, wonderful explanation of our new product line, so you don't want to miss that. We'll be sending out more information about that. And finally, get to your local meetings. Every single one of us should be participating in a local meeting like clockwork. If you can go to your job, if you can commit your time to somebody else, make sure you lock out and you allocate some time to your own business. So definitely do that. It doesn't take much time, but it does take some dedicated and consistent time to be there every single week. Like in Brooklyn tonight, we got Senior Vice President Joe Moncourt here in Brooklyn. We've got, if you're in Maryland, we've got the Greenbelt, Maryland meeting. You've got a meeting going on in Connecticut. I know we've got a meeting going on in Queens tomorrow at the JFK Hilton. And here in New York, we're going to have a power-packed Super Saturday at the JFK Hotel with Camellia Collier. Coach K is going to be here in New York, so definitely bring out all the ladies. They're going to have a wonderful, powerful event. And even for the fellas as well, come out. This is going to be a super-duper event, and we're going to do our first SVP panel there as well. So you're going to have an opportunity to ask those questions just like you did with Dr. Kappy today. So definitely get your team out, get everybody that you know to come and look at this opportunity. So this was a wonderful call. Thank everybody for taking time to jump on it. I wish you a wonderful week. My name is Lerard Small, Senior Vice President out of Brooklyn, New York. Have a wonderful week.